Hello, we're about at the 1 week mark from the brew day to today. We've had a very good week of fermentation so far. Very happy with the results. If they continue, we should be expecting a very good brown ale that came from our brew day. In the following videos, you'll see the day-by-day check-ins that I taped as the fermentation process began, and to my surprise, as it kind of exploded around the 72-hour period, which was a very nice surprise. So, I'm very happy with the beer's development so far, and I'll keep posting follow-up videos when we get to kegging day and when we finally get towards pouring our first cup of this beer. So we are at day 2, and we're starting to get a nice healthy layer of foam here, which is nice. It's good to see that there's some activity going on and that the yeast are alive and working. So this is all very healthy signs. Healthy signs of good beer to come. Very proud of the yeast. All right, more updates to come. So this is a 48-hour check-in period. You can see we got a healthy layer of krausen forming on the top. And that shows that there's a healthy amount of yeast activity. And as is planned with the 6.5 gallon bubbler, for even 5.5 gallons of beer, we do not need a blow-off tube, even though the krausen seems to be pretty active. And it'll continue to be active probably for the next 24 hours. But this is very wonderful, very healthy looking beer. Very excited to see how this one turns out. Okay, so I was excited about the activity we saw yesterday, but today at around the 72-hour mark, we are seeing a ton of activity. That is a very, very healthy layer of krausen. The yeast seem extremely active, so they must be very happy. This is a very healthy sign. I'm very, very excited to see this much activity. This is way more than I could have imagined. And even with this much activity, the extra space here in our carboy saved us from having to use a blow-off tube. So everything still seems perfectly intact. The seal is not popped off despite the large amount of activity. Very excited to see where it goes from here. Very happy to see my yeast is active and happy. This is going to be a great nut brown ale. Awesome. Also, what's very interesting are these trails. It almost looks like wisps of hair of the krausen falling back into the beer. Just seemed interesting, wanted to capture it. So we're about midway through the week. Still looking very healthy. Have a solid layer of foam on top that's receding now, as I imagine a lot of the yeast is beginning to flocculate down to the bottom. That's where we're starting to see this sediment layer pick up. That's going to be some of the yeast that's no longer active starting, and that'll continue throughout the next 2 weeks.